Well, welcome. This is chapter 51 of World's Longest Suicide Note. My name is Roger, the suicidal person, sometimes. But am not medical or mental health professional. I just like to wring my hands a lot. Fixations. Anyway. So today I don't have the painting going, not doing that. I thought I'd talk to you about what I've read this year, about the books. And I've been reading, I've always kind of read a lot, different things. My dad was a voracious reader. We'd go on camping trips, and the camping trip was like setting up a camp. Him and my mom were sleeping in the vehicle, and then the rest of us had tents and whatever. But I mean, he would, in a day, he could finish a book. He would sit there at start and read all day, and he'd finish a book in a day. I don't have that kind of like focused endurance to be able to do that. It's not something, but I do enjoy reading. But it's got to be. He was sci-fi. Had a library of sci-fi books. I can't follow it a lot. But ever since I started to, have kind of a mental decline, and I know I wanted to talk about this stuff, I've been reading about other things out there that are about suicide and from other perspectives. So this year, that's what I've been doing, and these were all read sometime between January and now. So this is the last one I did, and by did I mean I read. How's that coming out? I can't ever figure out how to hold it. Anyway, How I Stayed Alive When My Brain Was Trying to Kill Me. The first part of this book was a lot like my own experience, so I connected with it immediately. Some of it wasn't, but all in all, I mean, it was a decent read. The Myth of Sisyphus, Albert Camus. Didn't get a ton out of that, but it was a short book, so that was no big deal. Emile Durkheim, Suicide: a sociological study of suicide. It was not, some good information. That's fairly. When was this published? It was kind of old. But some of the stuff is exactly, still valid. This was originally published in 1951. So, it's kind of got that, like, vintage feel to it. And so it's not really something that you're going to follow too much, but, it's more like a textbook kind of read. But, some decent, information. Notes on suicide. Some good stuff in there. And I underline my books. Some people think that that's sacrilegious. I don't. It's my book. If I want to draw pictures on it, I'll do it. I'm not worried about resale value. Yeah. So there's some good stuff in here. Suicidal depression is a state of cold, agitated horror and relentless despair. The things you most love in life leech away. That's deep. The suicide solution. I'm not a huge fan of. I'm not a religious person. And there's a couple books. Is it this one too? Anyway, I had a couple back to back that were really from a religious perspective. And it's not that there wasn't good information, it just didn't land as much. So if you are a religious, I left my coffee over there. If you're a religious person, some of these may be very interesting. You may get a bit more out of those than I got. But I think this one, The Suicide Solution and The Essential Guide to Suicide Prevention, and a lot of the information is kind of basic. There's not a lot of new stuff going on. This one, Desperate Remedies, man, this one, I got all kinds of stuff in there. And if you notice, like, I use coffee stirrers as bookmarks because I go to the same coffee shop to read a lot of these things, and they all have, like, well, now that I'm saying that, do they all? I dropped one. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. Brief history of stigma. I mean, this was kind of interesting. A lot of it was stuff that I had known from previous readings. And then Night Falls Fast. This one was interesting. But this one, like, the one that I think made the most impact on me was this one right here, Desperate Remedies. And the reason I say that is because I was really unaware of a lot of the history of mental illness. And this is from, basically, if you want to be horrified by psychiatry's attempts to cure the mentally ill, and the money and the power that goes with that. This is a very interesting book, because let me tell you something. We have paid a great price, folks, the mentally ill, over time. The reason that they are not giving us lobotomies as a general course is because they did that to a lot of people. And it was, this will absolutely change the way you see that profession. And it, a lot of bad things happened. And a lot of people profited from that bad stuff happening. So, while I always believe that we need to access professional help as a tool for where we are and where we're going, the idea that this is out of the goodness of their hearts and that profession is pure and white, their hands are clean in the whole situation, that's a fallacy. The information that we have now came at the sacrifice of those who came before us and didn't have a say in a lot that went on in their care. Wow. Some of it, like, I couldn't even continue reading because I'd get upset. So, word of caution on that one. If you're going to read that one, word to the wise, it's going to be upsetting. Yeah. So those are the books so far that I've read. I've started a new one about self-loathing, and we'll do a book review down the road. I'm sure that'll be part of that. But the idea that there's so much knowledge out there that we can glean from other people's perspectives, and that's the whole idea. I like sitting down with other people and seeing where they are and what they're dealing with and going through, and these are a great way to do that. Because at the end of the day, when when I talk to people, I want to have multiple. I just don't want it to be about what I think. I want to have a well-rounded repertoire of experiences and stories about people's experiences that I could, call on as for information if needed. So I encourage you, and it doesn't, I mean, when you read, it doesn't, I'm interested in this. This is something that I find interesting. So find something that interests you, and go with it. Purchase a book, read it, use it as your self-care. And I do that myself. I mean, I'm reading about something that's, a lot of times dark and hopeless. But for me, it's me getting a greater, more rounded understanding of something that I know very well. So I encourage you, read, study, gain a greater knowledge, and then share it with other people, because the whole idea is on any of these books, there's even like the textbook one, these things may not be correct anymore. Some of this information was from a while ago, and it may not have held up. It may not have aged well, but it's understanding. I made a note here. I saw it. Physiognomy. Yeah, so I'll make notes as I go. If I don't know something, it's a way for me to learn something new. Just like physiognomy, the practice of analyzing a person's character or personality based on their physical appearance. Didn't know that. Especially, and particularly the face. So basically what they would say is they would look at somebody and they would make judgments about what, and obviously that's not something you do anymore. We do it all day on the gram, on the social media. It's all about, the appearances of things. Anyway, I'm starting to lose it, so I'm going to call it a day. But always, there's always perspectives out there. Some match your own, some don't. The whole idea is to understand others' perspectives and then use it in a real, in a holistic approach. Sorry, I hit something because I'm tight in here. Anyway, all right. Read, learn, enjoy, have a great day, and keep fighting. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care.